And I want to show you how this comes about by looking at a guy in Scripture who was far from God and was far from Jesus and then became a follower of Jesus. And the nature of their relationship teaches us so much about a couple dangerous prayers that we can pray. This guy's name is Matthew, and if you find yourself, wherever you are, whatever location you're watching from, kind of being a person that I'm not sure what I believe about Jesus, Matthew's your guy, because he was just like that. And he was a guy that was kind of, on the outcast list because he was, even though he was a Jewish citizen, because he was working for Rome, he was a tax collector. And he could take as many taxes that he wanted from all of his countrymen. And they knew it. And he robbed them because of that. And they hated him. And nobody talked to Matthew. But take a look at his interaction with Jesus. As Jesus went on from there, he saw a man named Matthew. And Matthew's telling us this, kind of talking in the third person. And he's sitting at the tax collector's booth. So he's out there in the public square collecting taxes from people as they come by. He can take as much as he wants. He gives a certain percentage to Rome. He keeps the rest. He's very wealthy. He's got everything he ever wants except friends. The only friends he has are other tax collectors. And everybody hates the tax collectors. And I don't mean hate them like you don't like the IRS. I mean hates them like these people are ruining my life. Like you would look at somebody who's selling drugs to kids. That kind of disgust is how they looked at tax collectors. But Jesus talks to him. And Jesus says, "Follow me." And this can't be the first time that Matthew has seen Jesus. Jesus has probably been walking around this area for some time now, teaching and talking to people and healing people. And Matthew's just watching this out of the corner of his eye like, that guy's different. There's something unique about him. And so when Jesus turns and looks at him and says, "Follow me," Matthew gets right up and followed him. Now what's fascinating about this is not only does Matthew leave his business behind and follow after Jesus, Jesus does not say, "Follow me," like get your act together and be good. Jesus does not say, "Quit what you're doing and start going to church." Jesus says, "I care about you and I want you to be with me and hang out with me on this journey we're going on." He includes him in his community. And so this is what Matthew does. Look what happens next. While Jesus was having dinner at Matthew's house, the very first thing they do is they don't go to church. They don't go to learn how to pray. Jesus doesn't put them through, 4 courses of how to be a disciple. They go to a party at Matthew's house that Matthew throws. And friends, this is not a Sunday school party because look who's there. Many tax collectors and sinners came and ate with him and his disciples. The only friends Matthew has are tax collectors. And he says, "I'm going to throw a big party for all my friends so they can meet my new friend, Jesus." And Jesus is not there at that party walking around yelling at everybody saying, "Hey, turn that down, stop that, quit that, use a coaster." He's not doing any of that. Jesus is over there by the stereo with a plate of hot wings just hanging out with people because that's who Jesus was. In fact, this phrase here, "ate with him," this is such a fascinating phrase in the original language because if you look in the original language, they have several different terms they use for people eating together with other people. And Jesus eats with a lot of people, and Matthew will use all kinds of different phrases, but the phrase he uses for this situation is only used one other time in his gospel. You know when that is? The Last Supper. I think Matthew's trying to tell us something. And that is, as close as Jesus was to his closest friends the night before he died, is as close as he was to my friends at that party. Jesus is right there with them all. And it changes everything. Look what happens then. Well, now the church people are mad. When the Pharisees saw this, they asked his disciples, "Why does your teacher eat with tax collectors and sinners?" Look at him in there. Look at those people that are with him. And on hearing this is interesting to me. I mean, if you're going to say something derogatory about Jesus, do it far away, okay? Jesus hears this, and I got to imagine he's got pretty good hearing. Jesus said, "Hey guys, it's not the healthy who need a doctor, but the sick."